Welcome to yoga. I'm your host, Lindsay McDougall, and I'm so excited to continue our work together. We've been doing some twists, forearm balances, lots of really good stuff. I was so sore after last week. I hope you enjoyed it. So let's get started on a forward fold in child's pose. And also, please excuse my microphone. I know it's ugly in the middle of my video, but it does improve the sound quite a bit. So have a block, have a strap, have a blanket handy, and let's widen up the knees, sit back on the heels, and walk the hands out, letting the elbows rest on the mat, forehead rest on the mat. Coming into a surrendered posture here. This is such a beautiful way to start class. Just letting the forehead sink into the mat. Letting go of the day, the worries, the troubles. And coming into our breath here. Really reaching that breath with the inhale into the sacral area, sinking the hips more. You can sway a little back and forth, just eking out the rib cage, lengthening the back. Gently rolling the biceps towards the ceiling. Creating that space in the back of the heart. Openness. And as you're deepening your breath, go more on the exhales. Really emptying out the full exhale. And as you do that, you'll notice in that deep place of the exhale, the pelvic floor lifts, the abdomen engages in Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha, which is pivotal for any asana that we do. So really get in there, let it go. Couple more intentional breaths here. And on your next inhale, come to tabletop. Scooch the knees in, hips over knees. And let's take that twist like we did last time, bringing the right hand in the center of the mat and then flipping the fingertips to face the knees, pointing towards the knees. So getting that wrist opening. Take a moment here, ground through the hand, feel that tent pulling up through the center of the palm. And then inhale, lengthen the chest, flatten the sacrum, open up to the left. Keeping the sacrum flat and then using the rotation of the right arm to sink the shoulder back down the body. Exhale down. Come to tabletop. Inhale with lengthen. Exhale, pull the belly in. Inhale, flat back. Bring the left hand to the middle of the mat. Rotate counterclockwise, pointing the fingertips towards the knees. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Pull in on the navel center, flatten the sacrum. And then inhale, open up that right arm. And you're going to feel this really in the left side body. And watch what the left shoulder is doing. It's going to want to come up. Really press press the top of that shoulder down towards the left hip. Another breath here. Good, and exhale down. Let's take the hands to the face down so the palms are lifted up. We're going to get that stretch in the wrists, top of the hand touching the mat. And then just sit back a little bit in your tabletop and you'll feel that stretch on the tops of your hands. And distribute the weight evenly. So my left hand is not as firm as the right. So I'm actually left-handed, so maybe you might find your right hand's not as firm. So even out that pressure. Good. And then flip one palm at a time. Sit back on your heels. Shake out the hands. Nice text counter pose, computer counter pose. And then let's make our way to downward facing dog. Pressing the heels back, lifting the hips. And pedal out your dog here. Dropping the head, rolling those outer shoulders down. Weight even on the hands and the feet. And inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, drop the left knee, raise the right leg and the left arm. Lengthen the spine in this asymmetry, so the navel center is engaged and all the energy is streaming out the lifted limb. Limbs plural. Exhale, come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Hold for 1, 2, and drop that right knee, and then lift the left leg and the right arm. Lengthen the spine, pull the abdomen up to support the low back. Keep a flat back, so you don't want to arch the back. You want to keep that firmness through the front of the torso. Exhale, tabletop to down dog. Walk the hands back to the feet. Take a nice forward fold here, grabbing opposite elbows, swaying side to side. For a more intense stretch, you can take your forearms behind your calves and bring your chest towards the legs, but make sure you're keeping your legs straight and sturdy, lifting the kneecaps, and letting the energy just fall softly down the back, upper body soft. Find your movement that feels release here. And exhaling, walk the hands back to down dog. Inhale, lengthen your down dog. Exhale, press the hips back. Inner thighs rotate back. Outer edges of the feet are parallel with the outer edges of the mat. So you're going to feel a little pigeon-toed, but that's good. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, drop to forearms, one at a time. Bring your hands into a clasp. Pull the abdomen in. Pubis towards the chest. Lengthen the front of the chest and neck and draw the shoulders down the back. So this is going to highly activate the core, the front of the body, creating that space and length. Let's hold for 10, 9, 8. You got this. 7, 6, don't give up. 5, 4, 3, look forward where you're going. 2, and 1. Drop the hips, Bring the forearms down. Come into Sphinx pose. Lift the kneecaps. Lengthen the chest between the arms. Pull those forearms back. Reach the chest forward. Be as timeless as the Sphinx. And then press into those hands. High Cobra here. Just straightening the arms here. Gentle opening into Cobra. Keep the legs engaged. Don't let the legs just slack. Lift the kneecaps. And exhale, lower down. Bring the hands by the waist, elbows in, and you can take knees, chest, chin. We'll make our way back to down dog. Untuck the toes, pull the elbows in, press back. Good. Find your down dog. Take a nice breath in. Exhale, look forward. Let's take 2 big steps to the top of the mat. And inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, squeeze the thighs together, slight bend in the knees. Open up the arms to the top of your mat. And slight adjustment there. Reach for the stars, the sun, the moon. And then exhale, arms down. So remember what I just talked about with the hands and finding the even pressure with the hands? Do the same with the feet. So outer edges of the feet, parallel with the outer edges of the mat. Lift those inner ankles, spread the toes. You can bring the hands to the heart center. And just embrace the asymmetry. At the same time, breathing down and up the prana, evening out the muscles, rooting through each toe, each part of the foot here. Once you have that grounding, tuck the tailbone down, flatten the low back, lift the pubis, and lift the rib cage. Good. Mountain pose with Anjali Mudra here. Inhale, sweep the arms up, get nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, place the hands. Walk or hop back to plank. If you're hopping, you're going to chaturanga with bent arms. Lower down, look forward, strong body, lower body up. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, raise the right leg. Open up the hip, bend the right knee. Reach those toes to the left side of the room. And exhale, square off the right hip and sweep that right leg forward to the right wrist. Drop the left knee. Untuck the toes, crescent here. Reaching up, let the hips sink. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's bring that left elbow outside of the right knee. Just take a gentle opening twist, keeping that left knee on the ground, because this is our first twist. And then I'm going to take my right thumb and press my right inner thigh down. That's going to lift my abdomen over to the right. And then, can't see it on this angle, but my hands are at my heart center, thumbs touching the sternum. And so say hello to your first twist. Your second twist, actually. Inhale, release, sweep up to crescent. And exhale, lift the back leg. Look forward, right foot back plank. And lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Open up that hip, bend the knee. Reach the left toes across the room. Feel that nice hip flexor stretch. Drop the left shoulder. Good. Inhale, square off the hips. Scoop that knee under, place it underneath the left hand, or where the left wrist is. Drop the right knee. Untuck the toes, crescent pose. Exhale, sink the hips, hands to heart center. Gentle visit twist here. Place that right elbow outside the left foot, and then take that left thumb and roll the inner thigh of the left leg down. Good. Hands to heart center. Lift and lengthen the chest. Breathe into that low abdomen. You might come out of the bend in the knee just to adjust. Just find what's a good visit. And then inhale, release, open up to crescent. Exhale, place the hands down, lift the back leg, and make your way through your vinyasa. Plank pose. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Good. Let's do a little more core. Inhale, lift the left leg. Sweep the leg, the knee into the chest, come to plank. And then tick-tock. Bring that knee to the right elbow. And the left elbow. And the right elbow. And the left elbow. And back to three-legged dog. Inhale. Sweep the left knee through, and then drop it to the ground. Come to pigeon prep here. Pigeon prep meaning hands are either side of the left leg, and we're walking back into that left thigh, kind of getting the outer hip stretch, but you're on your fingertips. You're lifting the chest, lengthening. We're not going all the way into pigeon, just a visit here. And exhale, come back to plank. Take a vinyasa. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Right leg back. Sweep it forward to the right elbow. Bring it to the left elbow, squeeze, lift. Right elbow, squeeze, lift. Left elbow. Right elbow. Sweep it back to three-legged dog. And then pull it forward again, this time bringing the knee by the right wrist. Dropping the hips as much as you desire, keeping the fingertips active, lifting the chest. Pigeon prep here. So strong lifting through the inner groin. Through Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, open the heart. Good. Exhale. Take a down dog. Inhale, come forward. Plank pose. Drop the right knee. Open up the left arm, Vashisthasana variation here. Tailbone to left heel. And roll that right elbow towards the knee. So biceps coming forward. So you get that external rotation of the right arm. Good. Inhale, lengthen. The body gets strong. Come into Vashisthasana, the full posture. And then come back to plank pose. Let's try this on the other side. Drop the left knee. Open up to the right side. Lift the right arm. Roll the left elbow back. Lengthen the tailbone. Get long in the legs. And exhale down. Let's take a plank pose. You can do knees, chest, chin, or Vashisthasana, vinyasa. Look forward. Keep the abs strong. Lift into your back bend. And exhale down. Downward facing dog here. Inhale, right leg back. Sweep it forward to the right wrist. Warrior one here. Squaring off the hips. Lifting the arms. Bend into that right knee. And keep that length in the low back. So this is going to activate some of those core muscles as we lengthen the low back. Turning the left shoulder towards the right knee. Good. Open up to warrior two. Arms wide. Look over that third finger. Inhale, reverse. Reach the right arm back. You can look down at your foot or up underneath your bicep. And then exhale to warrior two. Lengthen the right leg. Walk heel toe the left foot in a bit. Let's come into triangle. Lift up on both kneecaps, strong legs. Hinge the hips to the back of the room. And then place the right hand on the shin or block, lifting the left arm. So same thing in Janusirsasana. We're rolling the shoulders back, engaging the core, tailbone long, and looking up at that hand if it feels comfortable to the neck. If you have a crick in your neck, it's probably more for the chiropractor. So just be gentle, listen to your body. Good, let's balance it. Exhale, bend that right knee, hand to hip. Let's come to half moon. Lift the left leg, right hand outside of the right pinky toe. If you want to take the bind, open up the arm, bend the knee, and just work your hand to your shin, eventually your ankle, and you can come into this variation of half moon. And exhale, step back into warrior two, big step back, open up the arms. Good, inhale, reverse. Exhale, take a vinyasa. Frame the right foot, plank pose. And lift into upward facing dog. Let's spend a moment here, elbows back, reach the heart, strong legs. Tailbone is long, and we're reaching the front of the chest up and out. Can you open your heart more? Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice breath here. Inhale, left leg back. Sweep it forward to left wrist, warrior one on the left. Arms coming up in the clasp if you like. Strong back leg, rotate the chest forward. Lengthen the low back. When I lengthen the low back, notice what that does to the quad and the strength of the back leg, as well as the core. Last breath, get nice and long. Tuck the chin, outer shoulders forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, warrior two. You may have to, I like to adjust my legs so that the front heel intersects the back arch. It's traditional. Looking over that third finger, focused on what we want, what we're cultivating, what we desire in our life. Yoga helps us remove obstacles to that. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, lengthen the left leg, heel toe the right foot in a bit. Preparing for triangle. Lift up through the kneecaps, squeeze quads in, hinge the hips towards the back, lengthen the left side ribs, hand to the shin. Rotate that up again. Pay attention to the neck and shoulders. Roll the shoulders down the back, lengthen the neck, and then lengthen the tailbone. If that feels good and you want to look up at your right hand, go ahead. Be exuberant in your expression. This is for you, not for me, not for anyone else. Let's take that into a moon. Right hand on the hip, left knee bent. Hop up, raising the right leg. And then the left hand can come to a block or the floor outside the left pinky toe. Open up the arms. If you want to experiment with balance a little bit, bend the right knee and reach back for that ankle. And then press the top of the foot into the hand as you rotate the chest towards the ceiling. Last breath. Exhale, step way, way, way back. Warrior two, open up the arms. Bend the left knee. Reverse your warrior. And exhale, spiral the hands down. Take a vinyasa. Inhale, reach the chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take another breath here. Inhale, lift the right leg. Sweep it forward to the right wrist. Drop the left knee. Keep the left hand down. And then reach the right hand around and grab the outside of the foot. This is a nice quadricep stretch. You can walk that right foot, kind of heel the toes off the mat a bit of that right foot to just help open up into this twist. And try and keep as much integrity in the core as you can, not sinking into the right shoulder, but lifting the hips and really feeling this in the quad. Pull that foot in. Just get into the quad. I really want you to feel the quad stretch. And the left side body is engaged, kind of stretched and strengthened. And then exhale. Bring the hands inside the mat, and then walk that right foot parallel again. And then take your block, and bring your block to the highest height in front of your left knee here. And then in this position, kind of a lizard prep pose, we're going to lift the hips and then place the thigh on top of the block. So this is a really nice prop that helps with lengthening the quads, opening the groin, and then walk that right foot forward a bit, and then bring the right hand outside of the right foot. So we're kind of getting into Eka Pada Kundinyasana, one-legged sage pose. And you can even lift up the back toes and point them and kind of rock back and forth. Let's just take that visit there. Walk the hands inside the right foot. And let's make our way to downward facing dog. So move the block to the right side of the mat. Find your down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Sweep it forward to the left wrist. And drop the knee. And then wrap yourself, open up to the back of the mat. Lift the right foot and catch that outer edge of the foot and pull the heel into the glute. So open up. One thing that really helps is to bring the ball of the foot, the toes of the left leg off the mat. And that can just help to open up this stretch some. But don't forget that you're pulling that heel towards the glute. Make it work for you. Core is engaged. Shoulders are down the back. Chest is opening. Find that breath. And then exhale, release, walk that left foot back onto the mat. And then lift the hips, pop that block underneath the right quad. So it's going to be just above the knee, not on the knee at all. And then squeeze everything forward. Feel that stretch in the left groin, the right quad, and then walk that left foot a little bit forward so that you can bring the right hand outside of the foot. So Eka Pada Kundinyasana prep. Maybe you lift the back leg, point the toes. Good. Lift and engage the core. And exhale. Make your way to down dog. And remove your block when you have a moment. And take a moment to breathe in your down dog. Stretching the heels back. Outer shoulders down. Good. Inhale, lift the right leg back. Three-legged dog. Exhale, sweep it forward to the right wrist. Drop the back heel, warrior two. Sink into that warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale. Bring that left hand behind the hip to the top of the thigh. And then reach that right arm forward next to the ear. Tuck the tail to the back heel. Coming into side angle here with the right arm lifted. So pull that abdomen in, and you can use the pressure of the left hand on the thigh to really open that up. And then drop the hand, grab that right hand to the right ankle, and come a little bit more deeply into this. Keeping that semi-bind with the left hand. Notice what this does to the right as well as the left side of the body. Good. And inhale, place the hands inside, and take a vinyasa here. Once in down dog, inhale, lift the left leg back. Sweep it forward to the left wrist, warrior two on the left side. Bend firmly into that left leg, opening up the inner groins and sinking the tailbone, lengthening that low back. So it's funny, when we lengthen the low back, it's amazing how the core and the legs together really recruit here. Bring that right hand behind the waist, reverse to your warrior, and then exhale with the right hand on top of the thigh. Come into a side angle here. Left hand by the ear. I'm going to walk my right foot in a little bit because I'm a little bit overextended. So again, that front heel is intersecting the back arch. 90 degrees in the left leg. Pressure on the top of the thigh to help rotate and lengthen the breath from the low abdomen. Beautiful, beautiful. Drop that left hand to grab the ankle. And then just enjoy this rotation just a little bit more. Less using our core and more Squeezing the glutes and rotating the chest. Good. And exhale, hands inside the left foot. Take a vinyasa. Feels nice, doesn't it? I love incorporating that ankle grab. Just that nice extra support. Elbows down. Now let's take this to the next level. Right leg back. Sweep it forward to outside the right wrist. And a nice long low lunge here. Tuck the tailbone. If you need help with the block and you want to use that, you can go ahead, bringing the block on the to touch the upper thigh, the mid thigh rather. And then you're going to bring that right hand around the outside of the right leg. I'm going to take the block away just to demonstrate this. And then we're going to rock back and forth, playing around with our center of gravity. So the abdomen is lifted, the tailbone is long, and we're bringing that elbow to touch contact with the hamstring. And eventually, once we come forward enough, left elbow touches hip, and then we lift off. But I just want to get you in touch with this low lunge, okay? Good. And place the hands, come into plank pose. You can make your way through vinyasa or come straight to down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg back. Sweep it forward, outside the left hand. And then block or no block. Tailbone is tucked, right hip is lifting. And then bring that left hand outside of the left foot. And then once that upper arm is in contact with the hamstring, we're kind of walking that left foot long, and that contact is it's becoming heavier on the upper arm as we rock back and forth, where the hamstring is kind of resting on that shelf of the arm, and eventually we can bring the right elbow to touch the right hip, and it becomes a balance posture. But this is just an intro here. Let's come to plank, hands into the center of the mat, left foot back, vinyasa. And downward facing dog. Good. Take a child's pose here. Knees wide. Seat to heels. Drop the head. Find your center. Good. Inhale, come to tabletop. And let's sit back into our seated posture. Get a towel, wipe your sweat if you need to. And let's move the flesh away from our sits bones so we're grounded with our sits bones. Lifting the chest. And then bend that right knee. Give it a hug. And left hand comes outside of the left hip. Let's raise the right arm here. Lengthen. Using our core strength, left heel is lifted off the mat because our left leg is engaged and strong. And then exhale, lean forward, reach forward with that right hand. See if you can grab the left toe. If you can't, you need a little extra space, grab a towel or a strap, and just work yourself into a forward fold here. And then, but don't forget about the right knee. So the right knee is going to be pulling in to the outer right shoulder. Good. From here, inhale, lift and lengthen the chest. And then exhale, bend to the elbow, rolling thumb side down, and find your wrap here. So elbow is going to bend as the thumb rotates downward and then comes to the top of the hand is going to come to the outer right thigh, and then the left hand is going to reach around and grab a strap or grab the fingers here. So find yourself in what pose, posture you like. And then once you have that grab, lengthen the chest, pull everything into center, engage the left leg. This is a lot of core work. We're opening up to the left and we're squeezing that right knee in. So it feels like everything's coming in and down. But at the same time, we're opening and lengthening the spine. Good. Exhale, release the bind. So I'll try and be better about, for those of you who need the strap, I'll try and prompt that a little bit better. Find your seated posture. Nice and even. Bend the left knee, pull it in, place the foot down, right hand outside of the hip. Left hand lifts up by the ear. And squeeze the abs, squeeze the right quad so the right heel lifts. And then exhale, come forward, that arm's going to come inside the left knee, and then you're going to have a chance to grab a strap, to grab that toe, or if you're more flexible, you can bring peace fingers to the toe. Essentially, we're using the foot to come forward in this pose, to bring the chest forward so that that shoulder can touch the inner knee and get pointed as we come into our bind here. So from here, bend the elbow, rotate the thumb down, wrap that elbow, top of the shoulder rotates down, and a little snap, crackle, pop. And then you're going to take that bind. So the right hand's going to come around the back and grab a strap or grab the left wrist. Not the other way around. Left hand is not grabbing right hand. The right is grabbing the left hand. And then once you have that connection or just fingertips or what have you, squeeze the thighs back and in, and lift the chest to open to the right. So let everything come down into the low back area, using the core to open. Good. And exhale, release. Let's take the heels wide into a straddle. Actually, let's I don't want to do the straddle quite yet. Let's bring the left knee down off to the side a little bit. So right leg is straight, and then the left knee is creating a perpendicular shape to the right leg. And then you're pulling that heel outside of the hip. Try and demonstrate. So the angle that you're creating, the right leg is long, and then that left leg is perpendicular, maybe a little bit less than 90 degrees. And then walk your hands over to the left. Coming into a twist prep here. And breathing through the chest. And then exhale, lean forward towards the right foot, sliding that right hand inside the leg, and then flipping the palm face up to grab the inside of the foot. And then the left hand's going to come over the head and grab the outside of the foot. And from here, it's a Janusirsasana variation. Once you have either a strap or your hold on the foot, rotate the chest towards the ceiling and extend out the straight leg. And it's okay if the left hip lifts up a bit. I'm not so concerned with that. Really, I want the rotation and the length to be expressed through the straight leg and the side ribs. Good. And exhale, unwind. Walk the hands back. And then lean over to the right side to pull that left leg in towards you and out to seated. And just take your time, just bopping your knees up and down and undoing that thumb. And then let's lean over to the left side, opening up the left leg, bending that right knee, bringing the heel outside of the hip, and that knee is going to rest at a 90-degree angle to the straight leg, maybe a little bit in a little if your hip flexors are tight. Okay, and then grab your strap if you know you need it. Let's take our hands and walk them towards the bent leg, twisting over to the right, extending through that left heel. And like I said last week, if you're feeling the knee at all, come out, find regular Janusirsasana knee, or option is to roll a little hand towel or face towel a few times and place it in the crook of the knee to create some space in the joint. That's a safe way to do it as well. Last breath. And then keep this posture, keep this twist, and just lean over to the left, sliding that left hand towards the left heel inside of the leg. And then flip that palm up, grab the inside of that foot. Right hip can come up, and then the right arm's going to come up and over to grab the outside of the foot. And then once you have the grab or the strap, we're twisting, rotating from the navel center. Left leg is long and sturdy, and then the navel center and up, like the thoracic spine essentially, is rotating towards the ceiling. So when you take a human skeleton, the lumbar actually only twists about 5 degrees. It's very, very, very little mobility in the lumbar spine. It's really the navel center up, the thoracic spine, that has most of that degree mobility. So that kind of helps me visualize when I think of the human skeleton like that. Last breath. Good. Exhale. Walk the hands back. Lean over to the left side. Pull that right knee in. Lengthen it out. And let's come into a straddle here. Hands behind the hips. Lift the hips up and then place them down. And then find an evenness. If your floor is lined with wood and you can look at your heels, make sure your heels are the same distance, the same length. And then walk the hands forward, taking your block if you need it, to rest the top of your head on the block. You may need to do that in the beginning, but then as you release and you relax, you'll be able to come to forearms and eventually be completely resting flat front of the body on the ground. In this posture, heels are away. Pull the quads in. So legs are going to be active, and then this is going to help the core and the obliques adjust. And it's going to create a nice release for the back and help the upper body release. Last couple breaths here. Really releasing that upper body. And then inhaling, walk your hands up, take your hands inside of the knees and pull the legs in to cross legs. And then find your way to your mat for some back bends here. So let's bring the hips to the heels, lie back on your back. Back on the back. Back on the back. And then rotate your chest open. So bring those shoulder blades underneath. Pull the abdomen in, lift the tailbone, and then press into those heels and grab the hands underneath the tailbone. And once you have that grab, it's easier to roll the upper arms even further underneath the body. And then from there, you can really press the hips higher. Feel some freedom here as the chest opens. So the more pressure you put into the arms, the chest can open, the weight comes into the shoulders, hips come higher. And exhale, roll everything down, release. Windshield wipe the legs. Let's take another one like that. Bringing the heels in. This time you can even scooch your hands underneath the heels, but if not, taking the clasp again is fine. Inhale, lift the hips, roll the upper arms underneath the chest. Find your clasp or stand on your palms, and then press the hips up again. Inner thighs roll down. So don't let the knees kind of splay out to the side. Parallel legs. Inner thighs down. Squeeze glutes. Lengthen, and then feel this lengthen the neck even. As the weight comes into the shoulders, the neck can really release. Good. And exhale, roll it down. And then for those of you who want to take Urdhva Janusirsasana, upward facing bow pose, another option is to take downward Janusirsasana, regular bow pose. So for those in upward facing bow pose, thumbs to ears, flip the palms, squeeze inner thighs, sacrum wide, and then you're going to roll to the top of the head, and those chaturanga arms are what are going to propel you up into Urdhva. For those who want to come into sacrum wide, heart wide. For those who want to come into Janusirsasana, come onto your abdomen, and from here you're going to inhale into locust, lift the feet, palms face down by the hips, bend the knees, and grab the ankles, or if you have a strap, and then you're going to press the shins away, come into your back bend here. So in both of these, the breath is going to be pivotal. You're going to widen the back of the heart, lengthen the spine down, tailbone down, wide sacrum, just like we did in our previous poses. Another couple of breaths. And exhale, release, come slowly down. Windshield wiper the knees if you were in Urdhva, or just rest your chin, your cheek on the side. And we'll make our way to our final resting posture. So Janusirsasana, folks, you can take another Janusirsasana. Urdhva, folks, you're already on your back. Let's take happy baby. Just any final pose here that feels like a good way to rest and reset. Happy baby is nice. Another option is arms out in a T. Lift the hips and pop them over to the right. And then bring the right knee on top of the left knee. And, left knee on top of right knee, So you're popping your hips over to the right, and then left knee is coming on top. And then you're dropping the knees over to the left. And that can be a nice counter pose. Oh, guys, I messed it up. Okay, for our reclining twist, pop your hips over to the left. Left foot comes on top of right knee, and then the knees are falling over to the right. So when you become a yoga teacher, doing these types of twist things are sometimes really hard to teach. Feel that nice extension on the left waist. Shoulder is moving away from the left knee. And look over to the left. This feels very delicious for the low back, the mid back. Good. And then inhale, lift the knees back to center, uncross, pop them over to the right, right knee over left. So I was right the first time. And then let the knees fall over to the left and look over the right shoulder. If you can adjust so that the shoulders are more or less flat, and you're just letting gravity open up the waist and the side body. And last breath. On your exhale, pull the knees back up, uncross, place the hips in the center, and then we'll make our way to our Shavasana. And since we're at the top of the hour, I will let you find your Shavasana and stay in this posture for a bit of time. Rolling shoulders underneath the chest, letting the legs fall to the side and hips relaxed. Back of the neck long. Eyes are closed. Just let the eye sockets fall back like a hammock into the back of the brain. Let the back of the head be heavy. Which sounds like strange instructions, but gets easier the more we practice. As you get into that breath, receiving the senses, really feeling that breath lapping inside of the body. Just let yourself be calmed and eased by this rhythmic breathing. The sensation of prana through the body. I'm going to wish you namaste. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. It's so good to be here. I honor the light in you, and I look forward to next week. Be well.